Is it 8 a.m., Adam?
It is 8 a.m., buddy.
What does that mean?
That means we're talking about sports.
Wow, you are fucking Mr. Personality today. I love it.
Am I?
Well, there we go. That's the Adam I know and love.
There you go.
Welcome to Woodward Sports. It is 8 a.m., so we start our Detroit sports talk right around now, and I'm rocking the black T-shirt today, Adam. Isn't that lovely?
It's beautiful.
Normally, I have the gray hoodie, I have the white T-shirt, and now I got the black T-shirt, and people have been asking about where they can get them. We got the store coming up. It's online. We'll put it on our website, so if you want any Woodward Sports gear, we got that coming your way, and we also got this little fun logo, too, that we're going to put on. You like this one better, don't you?
Yeah, I love this logo.
Yeah, we need to put up, like, a vote for people.
We should. We should do a poll on Facebook.
Do a poll on Facebook today of which logo do you like better for Woodward Sports, because we're trying to figure out which one to use. Adam really likes this one. I really like this one. And so that's kind of where we're at. We would love your help. If you like this, the dual street sign, let us know. If you like the single street sign, let us know. Artemis over there shaking his head for the dual street sign. I seem to be the only one.
I love the dual street
I'm
sign.
the only one who likes this.
I love it. I made it.
I know. I love it. But, okay, let's get into it, Adam. Sports talk. Last night, Game 1, World Series. It was going to be a nail-biter, we thought, going in, and holy shit, did it turn into a softball game about the fifth inning.
That's right.
Bellinger kicked it off with his two-run home run.
I love him.
Dude, that dude is just cocky.
Yeah.
But, like, in a good way.
Yeah, but in a good way. He's not like Bryce Harper cocky, where the guy bats like 230, but he struts around the bases like he's a shit.
Yeah, like when you look at Cody Bellinger, you're like, oh, that's a dude I'll see walking around downtown Birmingham.
He's likable.
And then all of a sudden, the dude's hitting bombs in the World Series.
That's right. So, and he's had his like World Series. I think he bats like 143 total in his last 2 or 3. I don't know. So
I don't know.
It's been bad for him, but
I
he
like
stepped up yesterday. I love him.
I like the way Bellinger plays ball, man, especially through these playoffs. The way he's coming in so clutch for his team. Like, imagine going through the playoffs and having that clutch gene in you, and you're just the man.
Yeah, I mean, Glasnow was pitching a gem.
Yeah,
a gem. Both of them were realistically, and then it just that 2-run homer.
And then
took everything out.
And then it was just floodgates. Like, every ball, like, they weren't just, hitting bloop singles.
No,
they were driving every single ball.
And I think that's what we can expect in this series. Is the first time through the order, pitchers are going to look pretty good. Second time, I think both teams are teeing off. Most likely the Dodgers. So.
Yeah, I said I wanted Tampa to win, and it's only Game 1. Listen, Tampa comes back, they win the game tonight. None of it matters.
No, Game 1 doesn't mean shit.
But damn, did they look outclassed last night. It just didn't even look like they were the same team.
Yeah.
And once the Dodgers got hot with those bats, it was just curtains. There's just no way they could respond. They just don't have the power the Dodgers
They don't have the bats the Dodgers have, for sure.
Yeah.
And Kershaw. A good Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, can we give it up for Clayton Kershaw? Can we do that for Clayton Kershaw? The World Series, my man
he
shows
looked good.
Up. He looked great.
He looked really good.
The only thing I was worried about in that fifth inning when he was like waiting a half hour. No, he had to wait forever to get back on the mound. Dude is putting all types of stuff on his arm to keep it warm.
That's why he only pitched 6 innings.
Yeah. If it would have been a quick turnover, I think he would have been back out there.
Yeah, they tore it up. They're up, what were they up, like 6-7 runs at the time?
Yeah, like 5.
Yeah, so there was no need to get him more than 6 innings.
Yeah, he looked great. One thing I did notice about Clayton Kershaw, and I know we joke about it all the time, like, hey, did you know Matthew Stafford played baseball with Clayton Kershaw when they were kids? Yeah. Like, every Lions game you watch, that is brought up, right? Like, every single, whether Clayton Kershaw, we're playing L.A., it doesn't matter who we're playing.
Especially on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter who we're playing. Like, they bring up Clayton Kershaw for no reason.
Know?
Yeah, hey, did you know about Matthew Stafford? He played Little League Baseball with Clayton Kershaw. That's you know what I didn't hear last night watching the World Series?
Matthew Stafford played Little League Baseball with Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, so why is that, like, the biggest notch on Matthew Stafford's life?
Because one guy gets to multiple World Series and one guy can't win his division.
That's got to feel awful for Stafford, though. Like, every time you're
Imagine
playing
having that
ball,
best friend that just, like, succeeds in everything in life that you wanted to do. And
I have a friend like that.
Yeah?
Yeah, my best friend Wellington was like that. Like, we played Little League football, baseball, basketball, all growing up, and I was decent. I was a good catcher, okay? Yeah. Kid was an amazing center fielder, amazing leadoff man, and, like, we never really had animosity, but I could understand, like, holy shit, I'm a professional NFL quarterback, and every time I play, they mention this baseball player. Yeah. But this baseball player's in the World Series, and I can't even get love? Like, I play baseball. Like, this.
That's my airtime.
Yeah, this was Stafford's time to get mentioned during the World Series, and no love for Matthew Stafford with Clayton Kershaw, but all love for Clayton Kershaw with Matthew Stafford. I don't understand that.
I just think there's nothing to talk about. So
there's got to be more interesting things with Matthew Stafford than Clayton Kershaw when they were like 10 years old. Which, by the way, if you want to see that picture of them playing together, it's up on our Instagram right now at Woodward Sports. It's a cute picture. It's your basic Little League picture. And who knew that those guys were going to go on to be what they were at that time? But if I was Matthew Stafford, I'd be like, come on, media. Yeah. Like, if you're going to throw out Clayton Kershaw's name every football game, at least be like, hey, you know, Clayton Kershaw, because this may be the only time he pitches in the World Series. Like, they may sweep them, so they're not going to get another chance to give Matt Stafford a shout-out.
I don't want to hear Matt Stafford during the World
Series. I do.
Anyways.
I hear enough about Clayton Kershaw. I want to hear about Matthew Stafford. Like, that's the whole point of this. It's supposed to be a mutual relationship, but Kershaw gets all the love, man. I don't like it. Stafford.
Well, he's better in his sport than Stafford is at his sport.
I don't give a shit. What is it? Like,
I don't know. I don't know why they do it.
Whoever announces, it's probably going to be Joe Buck, because that's all Joe Buck does is announce every single game this week. Have you seen that dude's schedule? Like Thursday night football, World Series, Monday night football, Sunday. Paid. Yeah, but at some point, like, there isn't anybody else in the entire universe that can call a game.
Yeah, I don't want Joe Buck talking football.
It's like iHeartMedia and Ryan fucking Seacrest. Like, there isn't anybody in the world that can do a midday show around the country besides Ryan fucking Seacrest. And that's how I feel about Joe Buck. It's like, really? You know, there's so many young guys that want to come up and call games, and, you know, there's so many opportunities.
New energy.
Yeah, new energy. I don't love Joe Buck. I don't hate Joe Buck, but
he's Joe Buck.
Give someone else a shot. Like, give me an Adam a shot. Anything. Seriously, my nightmare scenario is Ryan Seacrest and Joe Buck calling every sports game I watch. That is my nightmare scenario. I'm just sick of both of those guys.
Let's move on to something positive.
One thing positive, you will never hear Ryan Seacrest on this network. Right. That is one thing that is we're not going to jerk off Ryan Seacrest.
Well, in other news,
Mookie Betts
is unbelievable.
Dude, that guy's the real MVP.
Yeah.
I know you had a different call for MVP, but
I called
game
Justin
one,
Turner,
MVP.
Well, I just think the whole postseason, he's been energy, defensive, played his amazing defense. Yep. He hits the ball, obviously, really well. It's just fucking good.
And it's good to see that, like, he's worth the money.
Yeah, it's very rare in baseball.
Exactly.
When somebody gets paid, they live up to their contract. Even Albert Pujols. I mean, when he got paid by Los Angeles, they
look at A-Rod in New York. I mean,
they won a World Series out of him at least.
They had Jeter.
Yeah.
I mean, A-Rod, like, he made a ton of money. What was that? A $250 million contract when he first signed with the Yankees. It was a lot of money, and living up to that type of contract is tough to do.
Ain't easy.
And Mookie Betts went from Boston, where he killed it, won them a World Series.
Mm-hmm. Well, 2 for 4 last night.
Yep.
Home run.
He got the bag. He walked across the whole country. Now he's in L.A. getting the bag.
And playing like a beast.
Yeah, I would love Mookie Betts in a Tigers uniform.
Not going to happen.
No, I know it's not going to happen, Adam, but I would love Mookie Betts in a Tigers uniform. Could you imagine him in the old English D, like being able to go to Comerica Park and root for Mookie Betts?
That'd be nice.
It would be great.
We're still stuck with Miguel's contract, though.
For what? How many more years? 4 more years?
4 more years.
4 more years.
We pay him like $68,000 in at bat or something like that.
I don't care. Like, to me, we're paying for residual results.
Yeah.
like Miguel Cabrera. I mean, he won the Triple Crown. He was the MVP.
Could have won it back-to-back years.
Could have won it back-to-back years. Like, there was
robbed of an MVP by some fuckhead in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
Sorry, Mike Trout. I think you're good, but you shouldn't have won that MVP.
There was a point in time when I went to a Tigers game when they had Max Scherzer, they had Justin Verlander, and they had Miguel Cabrera. It was the Cy Young winner, the previous Cy Young winner.
That's right.
The previous MVP, the Triple Crown winner, and the current MVP.
All
on the same team. It was so amazing to watch those guys, even in warm-ups. Like, you were just sitting in the stands knowing that you were watching history.
Imagine actually turning on the TV at 1 o'clock midday to watch a Tigers game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was one of the best times of my life as a Tigers fan.
Yeah, from 2006 to what, like 2012? That was a good run.
2013, Torrey Hunter came in.
It all started with my man Pudge coming over, though. I love Pudge.
Yeah.
Pudge is my all-time favorite Tiger.
Yeah.
I love Pudge. He was my favorite because, like I said, I was a catcher growing up.
Yeah.
So he was my favorite growing up, and then when he became a Tiger, it was like when Rashid became a Piston because I love Rashid. I love that badass attitude he had in Portland, and then when he came to Detroit, I was just so happy. But yeah, Mookie Betts played out of his mind.
He's a real MVP.
If he keeps this up, he will hoist the MVP trophy for sure.
Has to. I mean,
he
he's
has
playing
to.
amazing, and his overall performance for them, he's like this shot of energy that they never had.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Dodgers need, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they're paying that. That's the third highest payroll in the league. So
it is, but take Mookie Betts out of that team, I don't think they are where they are right now. I don't think they come back 3-1.
Yeah.
Mookie Betts is just on another
He's that
level
energy,
right
man.
now.
You need it. And then we got another football story that broke right when we got, like an hour or two after we got off yesterday. Tua Tagovailoa is starting now for the Miami Dolphins. And obviously, we're going to associate Tua with Detroit for a long time. Like, this is kind of like the Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh thing, with the Pistons.
It's too early to say that.
I'm just saying, like, no matter what, we're going to always wonder what if.
And be like, what if?
Exactly. We had a shot to get Tua. If he turns out to be horrible in Miami, we'll be happy and be like, oh, wow, we dodged that bullet. But if he turns out to be amazing, it's always going to be something we look back on as Lions fans and are like, oh, man, that year we had a shot to get Tua, and
we passed. We took a corner.
We straight up passed, and we didn't even try to get more for the number 3 pick we had. I'm not dogging Okudah. I think Okudah is going to be a serviceable player.
Sure.
I think he's good. 2-3 years in is when we can really judge Okudah. I'm not judging him off these first 5 games.
I mean, look at the Redskins. They completely missed on Champ Bailey. They didn't miss on him. They had a few good years of him, but they let him go to Denver.
Cornerbacks are luxury picks, man. Like
you don't take them at 3.
Yeah,
you don't take corners at 3.
You do if you're in a position. And
well, what team with a top 3 pick is ever in a position to do that? That's all.
Yeah, not us. Not us.
Not us.
But Tua is now starting in Miami. If you watch the last Miami Dolphins game, he got in with about 2-3 minutes left. He was able to throw 2 passes.
Yep.
They weren't spectacular passes, but the one rollout he had to the left, and I thought it was crazy how he got that ball out beyond the defender. And then we talked about it on Monday. He went back out on the field. He FaceTimed his mom and dad and just sat on the field. That picture's up on our social media too.
You were very romantic about it.
I still am, man. I think that is such a cool moment because it shows that he's a human.
Yeah.
Like, it shows that it means something to him. I feel like sometimes a lot of these professional athletes, like, all these accolades and stuff have been handed to them their entire lives. Like, they've been the best their entire lives. From Little League, they go to junior high, they're the best. Then they go to high school, they're the best. They get to college, they're the best. Then they get to the pros, and sometimes you're not the best anymore. The pros are the pros. Like, we've seen great college people.
Where everyone is like you.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody has your skill set, really. And just to show that, the guy came back from this massive hip injury. Yeah. He was doubted in the draft. They didn't know if he was even going to go into the draft this past year. He's passed over for Joe Burrow because Joe Burrow comes out of nowhere and has a monster season. Herbert's in the league already, lighting it up, and he was the number 5 pick. So, I kind of feel for Tua because he's kind of sitting in this situation where he wants to play. He's good enough to play, but he's still recovering from the injury. The Dolphins sat him behind Fitzpatrick for a couple games, which was great. That's exactly what I thought the Lions should have done when they drafted him. Actually, I thought they should have drafted him and sat him like 2 years, let him learn the offense, but that means we have to have an offense for the same 3-4 year stretch.
A plan.
Yes, exactly. We're just flying by the seat of our pants right now. But yeah, that picture was just amazing to me because it showed that this guy that his whole life, he's in Alabama. He's the best quarterback. Mm-hmm. He wins the national championship, comes in the second half, leads the team. Like, this guy's a star in banners. In Alabama, he probably walked around King Dick, and now he's sitting in the middle of a football field, like, just happy to be there. And that to me shows that he's just like a good human.
It's a great feeling.
It is a great feeling.
But I have to ask the question.
Ask it, Adam.
Tua.
Uh-huh.
Is that the right move right now? They're 3-3, second in the division.
Yep.
They're obviously seeing something in practice for them to move off the Ryan Fitzpatrick, if you want to call it a project. But I don't think any of us thought this early Tua, especially because how successful Miami's been.
See, what I'm thinking is this has been a part of Miami's plan the whole time. Like, this was the plan.
Hey, if we're winning, let's get him, see if he can
I
take us.
don't even think it matters if they were winning or losing.
Really?
It's, hey, you know, we got Tua. We're going to give him 6 weeks through the bye week, and then he's our guy. Win, lose, or draw.
I love that plan, though.
And that's what I think they're doing. I think they're just sticking to the plan that they had. That's the only thing that makes sense to me at this point.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed sitting him a year, let's say. Let him get a full year of a playbook behind a really smart quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, a good guy, good mentor.
I mean,
so,
Fitzpatrick, man.
What a guy.
Where's he going to go? What's his career step after
I don't know. He'll
this?
probably go to the Jets and
go back.
win the job there.
Yeah. Oh, it wouldn't be a hard job to win, that's for sure.
Yeah. Very hard job to win. I mean, they got beyond a franchise quarterback. That guy should get $50 million a year.
Sam Darnold?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or Flacco. You're talking about Flacco.
No, Flacco and Darnold. I think they're the best dual threat quarterback combination in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Tua. I'm excited to see what he does in Miami. I like Gaskin as their running back. I like their coach. We've talked about him.
Yeah,
a couple
Robert
times.
Flores. Good for him.
Yeah.
Talk about taking a bad job.
Yeah.
Coaching the team to have a strong mentality.
After what Gase left you with.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen what Gase is.
Gase is.
How does that guy have a job in the NFL? Like when he first got his head coaching job at Miami, he had a losing, like he wasn't. They were like 27th ranked in Chicago as an offense, and he was the offensive coordinator. Then he gets a head coaching job. Miami's last in the league.
Do you remember Peyton Manning?
Who?
Peyton Manning.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him?
Yeah,
well,
of course. What if
I told you? What if I told you that Adam Gase held Peyton Manning's balls, and that's why he got a head coaching job?
I would say I would hold Peyton Manning's balls to get a coaching job.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only qualification I can think of.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Adam Gase is not a good coach. It's been proven.
We like to shit on Patricia's record and who was it? God, the Browns coach. What was his name?
Stefanski?
No, not Stefanski. Before him.
Oh, which one? Romeo Crennel?
No, the one who went 0-16.
Oh, I don't even know. I don't pay attention to the Browns or anything in Cleveland.
Well, beyond that, he has a horrible record as a head coach.
Yeah.
His offense isn't all that great. You know, if he had like an offense that was creative, it was keeping them in games, just team wasn't talented enough, they couldn't win football games, nobody would be talking about Adam Gase as a horrible head coach.
Right.
But you can just see the signs.
I got to say what's up to Dan and Justin watching us on the stream right now. So what's up, guys? How you guys doing? I really think that Gase is probably the worst coach that we've seen. But
worst coach in NFL history?
One of them. He's one of them because he's been a worse coach in multiple places.
Well, he's done.
And that's the thing with Patricia. If Patricia leaves here and goes and tears it up somewhere else, it's like, all right, he got his feet wet in Detroit, and then he figured out how to be the head coach. Kind of similar to what Belichick did.
Except but Belichick had success in Cleveland.
Yeah, a little bit. But, yeah, anybody who has – if you go to the playoffs in Cleveland, you're the man.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But either way, I don't know. I would not want Gase anywhere near our team, and that's why I'm glad Tua has a new coach in Miami. Someone who believes in him, someone who's going to let him run the show. And I'm excited to see Tua. Like, the rookies this year in the NFL have been so fun to watch.
Yeah, this draft class could be
the best.
All time. Could be an all-time.
I mean, Swift is great. Class. Jonathan Taylor is great. You got
Justin Jefferson
is great. Justin Jefferson.
CeeDee
Lamb is
Joe
great.
Burrow. You got
Joe
the quarterbacks.
Burrow, Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
I mean, like
we'll find out about the defensive players in a few years.
Patrick Queen, he's the defensive player. Yeah. He's already the #1 linebacker in the league, man.
Yeah,
he slid right into that Baltimore defense as the middle linebacker,
well,
so that's gonna make you good.
Yeah.
But still, he's got to make the tackles still. He's got to recover the fumbles, and he's doing it.
Yeah.
So I love Patrick Queen. And LSU, we talked about it Monday. Just what a monster squad.
Yeah. That's why they won the national championship.
Well, let's stick with football. And Anson Wells, you guys may know him as Mr. Eastside. He likes to talk that he's the fantasy football guru, and he actually does a really good job on his waiver wire. And so yesterday we put up our waiver wire picks because we put them up every Tuesday, so that way you can claim them because most people's waivers clear like Wednesday around noon.
Wednesday-ish,
yeah. So if you're looking for some players for your team, I mean, this is pretty much a seamless transition. One guy that you should probably pick up this week?
Tua.
It's obvious he's going to be the starter.
If you need a quarterback,
Yeah,
or
if
if
you
you
need
just
a
want him
quarter-
as an asset. I mean, just depends.
or if you were starting Fitzpatrick, and if you were
Yeah.
starting Fitzpatrick, I feel sorry for your team already. You're probably not.
It's probably not going well for you. If you're
Yeah,
starting Brian
probably
Fitzpatrick.
not. But if you're looking for some fantasy waiver wire pickups, let's go through the list. You ready to do this, Adam?
Let's go.
And give me your thoughts on them, and
All right.
I'll share some of Anson's thoughts.
All right.
Quarterback, we're going to do Tua, obviously.
Yep.
We just talked about that.
Yeah. That's a no-doubter. Guy just got the job coming off a bye. Whether he's a long-term solution or maybe just 2 weeks out of the rest of the season he's playing,
Right.
that's all you really need him for.
Yeah.
Especially if your team has.
I don't know if I'm starting him in
quarterback.
any daily fantasy
Nah.
stuff right now. I need to see a couple weeks out of
I
him.
will-
I think you could get him real cheap, though.
I think you can get him real cheap right now on DraftKings and FanDuel. So
Yeah, that's a
that just
risk.
depends.
Jimmy Garoppolo coming in as the second quarterback.
I
pickup.
like Jimmy a lot.
Yeah, he had a
If
big
you don't have
week.
him on your team now, if he's not a backup, I'd be surprised if he's free. I know he was hurt, but Jimmy in that offense, he benefits. I know there's some weeks where the running backs just take over and get all the touchdowns, but like last week, guy did nothing, ended up with 3 touchdowns. So
Right. And he's got
depending on
George
your
Kittle.
league, whether it's 4 or 6 points, it could mean a.
You got George Kittle, man.
Yeah, I love George Kittle.
I love George Kittle. George Kittle is the man. Last week, Anson picked Andy Dalton and Matthew Stafford as
That didn't
his
turn out
waiver
so
wire.
well.
No. Dalton was okay. 266, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
Again, garbage time yards. They're playing soft
We're
coverage.
talking fantasy football here, though. We're not
Yeah,
talking
but yards
NFL.
for quarterbacks isn't really the.
Yeah,
the
but
key
still,
stat.
266. That's not awful. Stafford had 223, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
Yeah.
We give those C grades for last week for
Yeah,
his
okay,
quarterback
I'm
selection.
cool with the C.
Running backs.
He cannot. I doubt DeAndre Swift is available.
See, this is what did I say about DeAndre Swift 2 weeks ago? That was my waiver wire pickup
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Like,
this is a little late.
yeah, this one's a little late, Anson. We're gonna call you out on that. But
Yeah.
obviously, if you're a Detroit fan, you know what DeAndre Swift
If you're in a
did
league
last
and
week.
DeAndre Swift hasn't been picked up since week 3 or week 2,
Yeah.
I don't know what league you're playing in, man.
Carryon Johnson's still available in the Woodward Sports Fantasy League. Would you?
Yeah, but I wouldn't. No, I don't think anybody should touch Carry On.
I know, man. What's gonna happen with Carryon?
I don't know. We should trade him for like a 5th round pick.
No.
Yeah.
No.
We should.
Dude, we spent a second on him, didn't we? Or
No, he was like a 3rd or 4th round pick.
okay, then maybe a 5th.
If
But
he was a 2nd, I'd be pissed.
yeah.
No.
JaMychal Hasty. That's a good pickup.
That is a good pickup.
Raheem Mostert.
But
is,
that's the thing. You just never know. Granted, they have a lot of injuries.
Right.
But with Kyle Shanahan's offense, somebody's getting that workload in the red zone. So
Yeah.
it could be Ayuk. It could be Kittle. Last week it was Kittle. This week you never know. It could be Hasty if you're really dying for a flex option. It's not a bad pick.
It's somebody. If you
Yeah.
need points and they're like,
Yeah, if you need
and
10
there's thin
points,
pickings on your league.
Max.
Yeah.
If you're just trying to fill a spot for a bye week, it's a good pick.
Yeah, he's got a pretty low floor, but a decently
decent
high
ceiling.
ceiling.
Yeah, it's high risk, but you never know.
And then another one, Boston Scott, which is he's a fill-in guy for your bye week.
Yeah.
That's what you need just to fill in some points.
Yeah, like 6
Um,
to 8 points maybe.
He's playing Thursday night football. Miles Sanders is out. Like,
Yeah. Oh, Miles Sanders is out this
yeah,
week. Oh.
yeah, that's why he shoots up a bit, man.
I didn't know that.
This Thursday night football matchup this week,
What is it? Philly versus who?
the Giants.
Oh, I won't be watching.
Ertz is out.
Ertz is
Sanders is out.
Yeah, but
Rager's
you
out.
know who should be on this list? for
Saquon's out.
quarterbacks?
Nobody's playing in this game.
Carson Wentz should be a big option this week. If you really need a quarterback, he's going to run the ball at least 6-7 times. He'll probably get an end zone
Wentz
rushing.
is another guy that is probably not a free agent though right now on your waiver wire.
No, probably not.
Okay.
But you never know. Some people.
Wide receiver. This is another guy that you may be a little late to the game on because you could have picked
I
him
think
up
both of them.
a week ago. Yeah, Tim Patrick in Denver. He's seeing a lot of looks.
A lot of
Cortland
injuries.
Sutton's out,
Yeah.
so that's opened up that slot. Jerry Jeudy. I mean, we just mentioned the whole draft class,
Yeah.
and we didn't bring up Jerry Jeudy.
No, he's not getting the targets that.
He's
maybe-
getting some decent targets. He's just not. He's not transcending like a CD Lamb.
He's not getting open.
Or a Justin Jefferson.
He's not
like,
getting open.
And that's crazy though, because Jerry Jeudy coming out of the draft, he was
Best route runner.
Mr. Everything.
Mr. Everything.
So that's weird. I didn't even think about that when we were naming rookies,
Yeah.
and we didn't even name Jerry Jeudy. That says a lot
Says
about
a
what
lot
he's
about
doing.
the season he's having, and
Yeah.
it says a lot about people like Justin Jefferson, Fulgham.
Yep.
I mean Patrick. A lot of people playing much better than him.
This week, KJ Hamler's coming back and Noah Fant.
Yeah, I know you've been talking about Hamler since week 1, but he's just
He's
never.
been injured. He's been injured.
But he's never been a feature like more than 5 targets, I think, all season.
No, not yet. Not yet. I mean,
Obviously, there's hope. But
Yeah, I'm not really concerned about him. I think he's more of
good
like
potential.
a stash dynasty pick. You know, like he'll be good
2 or
next
3
year.
years from now, he might be like the shit.
Gadget player.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think he'll ever be like a Tyreek Hill type talent. But I definitely think he'll be like a Tyreek Cohen type talent.
That could happen.
That's how I
that
see
makes
KJ
sense.
Hamler.
Okay.
So he's coming back this week. Noah Fant's coming back this week. That's going to take some of the targets away from Tim Patrick, but I still think Tim Patrick will have a good week for Denver. And then Travis Fulgham, the ex-Lion that we said wasn't good enough, now the best wide receiver in.
Yeah, but I think that's
Philly.
just a consequence of the Philadelphia situation. Alshon out, Deshaun out. I
Yeah.
mean, they're so injury prone, it's ridiculous. And Carson Wentz, I'm not sure how most people feel about him, but the guy does a lot with nothing. So
I like that offense, man. I love their offense.
I think Doug Peterson's a good coach. I
Yeah.
like his offensive schemes.
And I like Jim Schwartz as their defensive
Yeah.
coordinator. I like them. They just have no pieces left
They have
anymore, man.
nothing.
Nothing.
They have
This
nothing.
Thursday night football game is trash. But I'm going to watch it because that's what I do.
That's right.
I would love watching trash. Wide
week.
receivers from last week. Anson had a good week of telling you who to pick up. Chase Claypool.
If he was available.
Yeah, after
That's
that
probably a week.
after that 4-touchdown game, everybody wanted.
probably picked him up.
But he had a good game. You know,
did.
he had 4 catches, 74 yards, and a rushing TD. So that was a good game. And
And he's
then
dynamic. He's a dynamic player.
Brandon Cooks was his other one, and
Yeah.
Cooks had a good. It was finally good to see Cooks show up like that.
Well, he's had a few moments this season.
Yeah, but
Nothing super consistent.
Right.
But
tight ends. I like this pick for him. Trey Burton.
yeah, Trey Burton.
He's kind of a
Trey Burton was a great pickup this week in your daily fantasy.
yeah. He's like a Swiss Army knife. Like
Yeah.
he can run it in, he
That-
can catch it, and he can throw it. Like,
Yeah, I
we've
was
seen
looking at
him
my
throw
phone
touchdowns.
like, why is this guy getting a rushing touchdown? Why isn't Jonathan Taylor scoring?
Yeah, no, tell me about it.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for him and it wasn't for Giovanni Bernard, I would have had a much better week because Bernard was stealing goal line touches from Mixon, and
Yeah.
he's stealing carries at the goal line from Taylor. But as long as their teams are winning, I guess I'll accept it. But they got to worry about my team. Like, why don't these guys ever worry about my fantasy football team?
I don't know.
Do they even
It's
think
very,
about that when
it's
they're on
very
the field?
selfish. I think it's very selfish.
Yeah,
of them.
do they even know that I paid $100
Yeah.
to get into this league?
Yeah.
They may cost me money.
Yeah, I think we need to set up a call with
Selfish
these coaches.
millionaires.
Yeah.
Selfish.
Selfish.
And then your other tight end, Anthony Fisker, in Tennessee. Jonnu Smith, I think he's gone. He's out for the season, or at least out for a little while. And there's got to be somebody to pick up the slack. So if you're looking for a tight end's been really weird this year in fantasy football. There's been like
I think
three.
Travis Kelce's been the only week in, week out consistent. Kittle maybe I think is a
Kittle
second.
when he plays, but
when he
he was
plays,
out for 2 weeks.
yeah.
You know, he missed like the first half of the first game of the season, and then he was out the next 2 games.
Mhm.
You know, you got Dalton Schultz, who's kind of showed up some games in Dallas. He's disappeared. Ebron's had a decent game. Like, there's been really no consistency, even with Mark Andrews, Waller. So outside of Kittle and
Yeah.
Kelsey, you're just kind of throwing shit at the window and hoping it
Yeah,
sticks.
Mark Andrews, he's just been getting touchdowns. But
Yeah, no big yards, no
no
big
big yards.
games.
Lamar Jackson's taking a step back this year.
I don't think he's the same player.
I think teams figured it out.
There you go.
Well, I mean, step back throwing the ball. He was much more accurate last season, and I know that was
They were
because of-
different throws, though.
I know,
Like, that's
gadget
the
plays,
thing.
and I
They-
totally understand.
You know, once you put that blueprint out to the NFL about what happened to them in the playoffs last year,
Yeah.
every team's going to look at that and be like, all right, all
Yeah,
we got to
Mike
do is
Vrabel-
pack the hashes,
Mike
make
Vrabel
him
figured
throw
it out.
outside the hashes, and just run 10 deep in the box and let Lamar Jackson run around.
He was the MVP last year, but
I'm not taking that away from him.
he's got to figure out how to throw the football.
Yeah, and they need to figure out
He
how to
looks like
use
Tim
him
Tebow
more.
throwing the
They need
football.
to evolve their offense again. You know,
Yeah, they
that's
need
what
to.
hit everybody
He needs
by
receivers
surprise.
now. He needs receivers.
Yeah,
Marquise Brown is not a number one.
no,
he can
they,
be.
they don't
So
have
they
it.
got to actually surround him with weapons now,
They drafted
so they
DuVernay.
can't stack the box.
I like his speed, DuVernay's speed, but he's
Yeah.
not going to be an elite receiver by any means.
No, they need to make a move at the deadline if they actually want to win the Super Bowl. If that's just my thoughts, I don't think they're making it
And
past the division round.
and we need to think about their running backs. Like, they have a good backfield, but nobody.
They don't use it really.
I was going to say nobody's
Gus
having a
Edwards,
good year.
Mark Ingram. Well, it's not. Well, they share the load, but they don't run enough with their running backs.
Ingram killed it last year. That was a big reason why they were
and
where
last
they
week
were.
he did a pretty decent job.
Right, but Dobbins has come in. I expected Dobbins to be a lot better, a lot earlier. Once again, we didn't mention him.
Yeah.
And when we were talking about top rookies,
It's weird.
it is. It's
you
very
think with
strange.
like Lamar Jackson running that RPO, you think like, oh man, J.K. Dobbins in the backfield. The end has to pick. Am I letting Lamar run away for 15 yards, or am I going to go after this?
That's why you pack 10 in the box, force Lamar to beat you over the top, and that's never going to happen because he's got a good arm, but he's not.
He's not an accurate. He's not a.
You almost said it.
I almost said it.
Did you see that meme that said if Lamar Jackson was on Kansas City and it's got Patrick Mahomes handing the ball off to him? Because that's what he'd be in Kansas City. He'd be a gadget player.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I don't want to rack on the guy. I
We're
think he
not
can
racking on
improve,
him.
but that is not what a quarterback looks like. And I don't want to hear, well, he can win. I mean, they won what? They won 12 games, 13 games last year?
13.
They're
He's been a winner. Winning is not the issue.
Well, they
but
can win with him.
Right.
Their coach is a good coach.
Yes.
Harbaugh's a really good coach.
Yeah.
He's making it work there. But if Lamar Jackson doesn't figure out how to win throwing the ball,
But that was the knock on him coming out of college, right?
Yeah,
that's
and
what
he has
everybody
time to
said.
figure it
That's
out.
why he slipped in the draft.
but the team is so good now, or at least it's a quality team to the point where like, hey, we can contend. Like that's why maybe the pressure's up now. But
Fun game. Put Stafford on that team. What do they look like?
they look worse actually.
You think so?
Yeah, Lamar's running ability saves them. I think.
Okay.
It's something he does very well. Matthew Stafford throwing to those receivers, he's not the kind of quarterback that gets the most
now
out
put
of.
Jackson on the Lions. How's that look?
Jackson on the Lions.
Yes.
That's a great question.
Thanks.
I think we're better off with Jackson on the Lions, of course, but I don't know how that works. I think it's a great
totally
combination.
changes our offense.
Yeah, I mean,
but you're
DeAndre
giving him
Swift.
Galladay. You're giving him Hawkinson.
We're basically the Baltimore Ravens at that point. You have Mark Ingram, you swap him with Adrian Peterson. We have DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins, essentially. You run that, fake, the RPO action.
Yeah.
With much better receivers, much better offensive line, or maybe same offensive line. But that team really looks the same if you bring Lamar and probably more successful.
The Lions have never really had a mobile quarterback like that, have they?
No,
I mean,
not
Mike
really.
McMahon.
Yeah.
Mike McMahon was
Yeah.
the most mobile quarterback we had, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Jeff Garcia, he was kind of mobile, kind of mobile, especially when he was in San Francisco. By the time his old ass got here, it wasn't much. Yeah, I can't think of a mobile quarterback that the Lions have ever had. Culpepper, when we had him, was old as hell.
Yeah, I think there's a transition in the NFL where we thought last year, mobile quarterback is the way to go. And I thought Jimmy Garoppolo
It can't just
and Patrick Mahomes really just reminded everyone you need an accurate quarterback.
You got to be able to do
Niners
both.
would have won the Super Bowl if this guy completes a pass.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson's not completing that pass. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, you got to be able to do both. That's why like a Russell Wilson is almost a perfect quarterback.
Yeah,
he's mobile. He can escape the pocket.
He's
but he's
generational.
Also
you do
incredibly
not
accurate.
find that.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson took a gadget player and Tyler Lockett made him one of the top receivers in the game.
Right.
DK Metcalf was a project coming out of college. Now look at him dominating the NFL. So.
Yeah, DK Metcalf was great.
Yeah.
He looks great.
Again, he has Russell Wilson.
So yeah, that's kind of your look at your waiver wire pickups.
Yeah.
I think those are good pickups. Anson has done a good job so far in pretty much every fantasy football league. So if you ever need fantasy advice, we do the waiver wires on Tuesday, and we also do the Sit-'em Stardom on Sunday morning. Anson and I do the Lions pregame with the Sit-'em Stardom. So if you ever have any questions like who should I start? I need to do this. Like last week I was struggling either Antonio Gibson or Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
I was going back and forth. So if you ever have any questions like that, let us know. We'll do our best to answer it. But let's get on to some local stuff.
All right. What do we got?
Big Ten football's back, baby.
Big Ten football.
Starting this week.
Well, isn't Michigan on lockdown?
That's the interesting thing.
I don't
Yesterday, the entire University of Michigan got put on lockdown. A letter went out to all the students and all the parents. They're not allowed to leave their dorms unless it's to get food or medical. Essentials.
But football's essential.
But that's the weird thing. Yeah, they're letting the football team play.
Can we just
Like,
it's not about like politics at this point,
Right.
but for God's sake, if football is that essential, just tell us like, okay, it's about money. It's so obvious. You don't have to lie.
that's all you have to
come
say
on.
is, hey,
It's obviously about money.
we
You don't
got
give a shit.
contracts with Jordan. We got contracts. Like, we got to fulfill this
Yeah,
shit.
and come on, like you don't care about the students. Don't give us that shit. You know. Now we're gonna lock up all of the kids in the dorms. Like, if I'm a parent, why would I want my kid stuck in a COVID-infested environment? Like, what?
Could you imagine that being your freshman year of college? Like, you're just
That's
locked
so
in an
weird,
insane
man.
asylum. Like,
That's
how
so
many
weird.
babies are going to be made during this lockdown?
many.
That's my question.
We don't
Because
need-
college kids be fucking.
No,
and if you lock them in a dorm room,
That's all they're gonna do.
and that's all they're going to do,
Yep.
they can't leave.
Yep.
Like, I mean,
yeah, this
I went
is
to
detrimental
University of
to society.
Detroit,
Yeah,
and
we don't
like,
need any more people in this society.
well, there's going to be a lot.
We don't need any
at
more.
least,
though.
at least they're at Michigan. They're
I feel
smart
like Bill
kids
Burr
reproducing.
landed this one on the money when he said like just kill people who take cruise ships.
The cruise ships kill them
yeah,
all off.
Yeah, kill them all off. I mean, talk about population control. That's a great one.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen because you lock these college kids
Well,
down.
there needs to be a discussion in the
Pregnancy
election,
is going to
then.
happen. Pregnancy is going to happen, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
So
not good.
if you go to University of Michigan, this is my warning to you. Pull out this week, please.
Pull out this week.
Yeah, that's
Well, let's
my-
talk about the football game then.
Listen, man, I'm just thinking back when I was in college, like, dude, if they locked me in the dorms, because
Yeah,
we had a
there's
co-ed
nothing-
dorm room, and, like, it was separated by floors. Like, I was on the 5th floor. The girls were on the 4th. Like, what the hell are you going to do if you can't leave?
Yeah, and especially if you don't want to study.
Right.
And there's not much studying
You
going
know
on
your
with online
standards are
school.
going to get lowered because obviously the selection is lower. You're not
Yeah.
looking at the full campus anymore. You're
Yep.
only considering 200 people
In the building.
in your building.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. Someone's going to jump on those grenades, man. And
Yeah.
it's
Listen, everybody needs love.
Michigan's going to have a baby boom in 9 months. I'm
That's
calling
right.
it right now. But let's get into the football game.
That's right.
The
Michigan
football
football is Big Ten football in general is back.
Yeah. Who are you excited to see for Michigan or Michigan State? State's been tough to kind of.
State's been tough. The new regime.
They're not giving us shit.
They're not giving us shit, but neither does Jim Harbaugh. He doesn't even give us depth charts. So
Yeah, but at least we can kind of see behind. Like with Jim Harbaugh, we have last season to be like, oh, this person is probably
well,
working.
then let's leave it
there's
as
there's nobody at Michigan State. I have no
let's
clue
leave
what's
it as
going
a
on there.
surprise with State. Then I
Yeah.
think we can wait for State, wait a few first games, see how they're doing, and go from there. But when it comes to Michigan, they play Minnesota
Yes.
this week in Minnesota.
Row the
correct?
boat, baby.
Roll the
Row that boat. I love PJ Fleck.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting if he ever takes the next step to the NFL.
Yeah.
He's like one of those motivators of men.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to be now is more of a rah-rah coach like a Pete Carroll.
You
and
have
the
to.
X's and O's
You have
guy.
to be a personality.
Yep,
You have to know the X's and O's. Don't get me wrong. But
obviously.
we see people with zero personality how it goes.
Yeah.
Like an Adam Gase.
Like an Adam Gase or But let's talk about Joe Milton, man. That's
Milton.
that's who
You
I'm
wanna talk
excited
about
to
Milton?
see.
We can talk about
It's
Milton.
Milton time at Michigan.
Expectations for him.
Expectations. It depends on who you ask. Some
Week-
people are
week
comparing
one.
him to the next Cam Newton.
No.
Other people are like, it's a Michigan quarterback.
Let's
We've
wait.
been through this hype. They never really pay off. It's not really great.
Well, here's what I think. I think he's the best quarterback Harbaugh's had. And that's not saying much.
No.
But he has
Shane
I think-
Morris, baby.
oh my gosh, Shane Morris, what a bust. Milton is an interesting quarterback. He's a big dude. What, 6'4", 240? No, 6'5", 260, something like
Dude's
that.
a monster.
Yeah,
he's
a
a
monster.
linebacker.
He's a
playing
linebacker
quarterback.
who can move and throw the football.
Yep.
It's amazing. I think it changes the way Michigan plays offensively this year,
Yes.
which God knows they need it.
Well, you saw when Harbaugh had luck at Stanford.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
think this is a Harbaugh thing. I think Harbaugh's done a great job at the university. He's brought him back to like respectable terms.
Right, but I'm just
And now
talking when he has a tool like
exactly,
that,
and,
how
and
he
that's
uses
been the
them.
missing piece to the puzzle essentially all this time. It's
Yep.
been Michigan hasn't had a quarterback, and without a quarterback, you're not going far.
Well, even Urban Meyer, former Ohio State coach, is stroking Joe Milton right now. You want me to read
Is
his
he?
quote?
Oh, please.
Let me tell
I
you
would
real
love to
quick
hear
about
this.
Milton. I think that's how he talks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. During our game, in the pregame warm-ups, I'd always walk over, start looking at their personnel, check them out, and I was like, who is that cat?
Yeah.
That is a Cam Newton look-alike. He's got a hose, and he can run. They need to perform at
He's
that
got a
position.
hose?
He's got a hose.
Urban Meyer should be careful with what
I
he
hope he's
says.
talking about his arm. I really hope he's talking about his arm. Or, if they're going to be on lockdown, Joe Milton's going to impregnate a lot of chicks in Michigan. But for real, if Urban Meyer is talking that way about him,
that's exciting.
Part of me takes that with a grain of salt, though, because maybe he's trying to gas us up. Like, Urban Meyer's like, yeah, fuck the Wolverines. I'm gonna gas up their quarterback.
And then when he takes a shit,
right,
rub it in their face.
Rub it in their face. Aha. But I don't think either way. I don't think Harbaugh is listening to Urban Meyer when he's making these decisions.
Fuck Urban Meyer.
And with Dylan McCaffrey leaving, just leaving, that opened the door for Milton because I think.
Well, I think Milton was gonna win the job either way.
I think that's why he knew the writing was on the wall, and
McCaffrey was unfortunate. Got that head injury.
Yeah,
just couldn't stay on the field.
But Milton's looking strong.
I love Milton.
So I got another quote from Michigan OC Josh Gaddis, and he's got super high praise. He says, Joe's got special talent. He's a quarterback that's blessed with a tremendous skill set. Obviously, an arm and accuracy. He has every throw in the bag, plus an extra club you don't need to carry all the time. Because this was the biggest knock on this guy. It was almost like a John Elway situation. He throws the ball too hard.
Yeah.
That's what they were saying. He didn't have touch. Like, if he was standing 10 yards away from you, he's giving you the 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Now they're saying that he's developed a little touch, and that's going to evolve his game.
Well, my one concern would be his surrounding talent. A lot of people sitting out. A lot of people just moved on, went to the draft. How does Michigan look on offense? I'm not sure yet. A lot of young talent, so we'll see if they can make it work. But the fact that they have Milton behind center, it's going to make a big difference.
It's huge in college. If you got that transcendent player.
It's high school. If you have the quarterback, you're winning 7-8 games and going to the playoffs, regardless of your defense or talent, especially if you can move.
Right.
So
now I'm really excited to see Milton. It's going to be amazing if he can take Michigan to that next level, because I know that's what we've all been waiting for with Harbaugh, and some people complain that Harbaugh hasn't gotten us there yet.
Which is stupid.
I'm with you, man. I think Harbaugh has done a great job, like, recultivating the program. And, you know, we can't have revisionist history.
Let's not forget that Michigan is not an Alabama. It's not even an Ohio State when it comes to competing at that level.
Don't give me that shit.
At that level for that long. That's all.
Ohio State's only been at that level for the past couple years. Like, they're
before
new
Urban
to that
Meyer
game.
too. They were
I
still
would
better.
never put Ohio State on Alabama's level.
Not on Alabama's level, but they've been more competitive, and they've had more talent than Michigan has.
Recently.
Well,
not for the long haul, though.
Well, even over the last 20 years, there's no difference between Ohio State and Michigan other than the last few years.
Right.
Realistically.
Right.
Which means we weren't much.
Michigan's good. It's a good program.
Great program.
It's a great program.
It's a great program.
Yes.
But let's not kid ourselves to where we're competing on the national championship level.
That's the thing. If you hold Harbaugh to Nick Saban standards, and I know we're paying him Nick Saban money.
Well, he had a fucking job to do.
And not only that, you know, the dude was coming from the NFL. Like, you got to kick those guys up, man.
Yeah, you got to pay him.
And I think he's done a great job restoring the program, restoring the pride in the program. We're not losing to Appalachian State anymore.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't Rich Rod football. This isn't Brady Hope
The recruiting
football.
needs to be a little better. A little better. A lot of busts. Rashawn Gary didn't turn out to be what he was supposed to be in college.
Yeah, he's doing all right in the NFL.
Yeah, in the NFL he's doing fine.
Yeah, I was hyped when they got Gary.
Yeah, got the #1 recruit. When's the last time that happened for Michigan?
Yeah, you're right. He didn't. I don't know. It's
College
tough in that defense though,
Yeah,
because he was getting double and triple
trash.
teamed constantly. You know, same thing with like Taco Charlton. That's the weird thing about Michigan.
They all transitioned to the NFL. Winovich, he was a good college player.
Right, but that. So as a college football player, what are you looking for most? Are you looking for a program that's going to win at the college level? Or are you looking for a program that's going to prepare you for the next level? Because to me, that's what college is for. Just in general, it's supposed to prepare you for your next step in life. And, you know, a lot of Ohio State guys come out and they're busts. Like, look at Haskins. He just got pulled this year. Look at J.K. Dobbins. We talked about him. He hasn't been the elite guy we thought he could be. You know, you take away like Michael Thomas and a couple cornerbacks that Ohio State's put out. Outside of that, they don't really churn out the elite NFL athletes that Michigan does without the record that Ohio State has. Why?
It's a great question.
Thanks.
No answer as of yet.
Appreciate your insight, Adam.
Oh, well, no, I mean, Zeke came out of college. He was amazing. Now he's just garbage. J.K. Dobbins, garbage. I just think he's garbage. J.K. Dobbins, I think, is just the team. When we get drafted to a team that has three running backs already, you're not going to see 200 carries.
I get that, but so did Swift.
So did Swift, but we're actually using him. I don't know whether Baltimore's hiding him for later or what, but I'd like to see more J.K. Dobbins.
But I think it really is interesting how Michigan turns out. Like, Devin Bush, dude's a monster in the NFL. Winovich, like you said, like Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
That Michigan story is a little cloudy with Drew Henson, and that's weird.
Yeah, some programs just dish out better NFL talent, but it has to be said, there are other programs that win, but those players don't transition well.
So I was gonna say, so you're a 5-star recruit, Adam.
Yeah.
Okay, you got Michigan approaching you, and you got Ohio State.
Well, you can't ask me that. I'm fucking Michigan all the way, obviously. But,
Okay. Well,
different question. Maybe different teams.
okay, you got Michigan, because I want to use Michigan as the example.
Yeah, use Michigan.
And you got Florida State, or no?
Or like a Clemson. Let's say
wins?
Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson, because I don't know
Well,
too many great Clemson.
Well, if I'm a quarterback, I'd probably choose Clemson. I'd have more around me,
okay.
right? Then the problem, though, is with Michigan, I kind of get that NFL-esque offense playbook.
Right.
So I'm already,
You're taking the ball from under center.
Yeah.
So
like
that's a big deal. You don't
NFL.
have to transition.
I think it matters. Yeah, it definitely matters. So if I'm looking long-term, probably Michigan or just any school in general that runs a pro-style offense.
Yeah.
And then if I'm just this great college quarterback that thinks I'm the shit and I want to win, I'll probably go to Alabama, Clemson, right now at least.
I just think it's interesting.
It's a good conversation to have.
Here's another philosophical question. As a player, would you rather not win a national championship in college and be a great NFL player, or win your national championship and be a, reserve in the NFL?
Oh, of course. I'd rather have an NFL career. I think financially it makes more sense. That's a given. But you don't want to lose in college. I don't think any player has that mindset, but there's just some that think they're going to, let's say, an Alabama and an LSU, and then they end up being a backup, and it's like, oh shit, my career could have been so much better if I just went down the street to Georgia, was a starting corner. I probably would have been a 3rd or 2nd round pick.
It's so crazy how those decisions kind of dictate the rest of your life. It really is.
It's insane.
So those kids, any college kid or any high school kid, like really,
you want to play. You really need to make sure you're playing.
You nailed it. You
really have to play.
Yep. It's
you can't
all about playing time.
Don't just pick a program because, even Jim Harbaugh, for example, like he'll hype up all these guys, and half of them aren't going to play.
Right.
Shane Morris, what a waste of talent. If you want to call it
But he got his
talent.
playing time to show whether he could play or not. I know, but he proved he was garbage. But I think that is the most important thing for any recruit anywhere.
Yeah.
Make sure you're getting playing time,
Yeah.
because
And transfer.
it doesn't matter if you're getting playing time at Wyoming or you're getting playing time at Harvard.
Look at Carson Wentz. Dude went freaking, 2nd or 3rd in the draft?
Yeah.
Come on.
You see it every lineup they announce for an NFL football game. It's like Rodrigo Halaban.
If you're a quarterback,
I went to Southwestern Central Missouri
quarterback,
Tech, and it's like, dude, that guy didn't have to go to Michigan, and he made it to the NFL.
Yeah.
So
if you're a quarterback, you play. You make sure you play. It really applies to every
position.
Yeah, you need to play. You can't sit there and then only your senior year you're getting playing time.
Right.
Because by then you haven't developed.
Nope.
You don't develop just in practice. You need game time.
So if you're a high school recruit watching right now and you're debating where to go,
get your shit together.
Playing time.
Yeah.
Playing time. Actually, there's a kid from Orchard Lake St. Mary's. I talk about St. Mary's a lot because I follow all those kids from the school. But basketball player last year, Julian Roper. Julian Roper. He's a senior this year, but last year he was committing, and he had pretty much offers from every Big Ten school.
Okay.
We're talking Wisconsin, Michigan,
for football.
For basketball. This is a basketball prospect.
Okay.
He ended up picking Northwestern. Not a perennial basketball school.
Is he in college right now?
No, he will be next year.
Okay, well, I'm assuming he's going to be the starting point guard or shooting guard, whatever he plays.
Nailed it.
And he's going to be able to play in a Big Ten against teams and get television time and show that, hey, I'm a good prospect.
Exactly. And, so that was his
Players
decision.
need to think selfishly about that.
You
I know.
just need to
I
think
love
about
programs.
playing
I love
time.
that program, tradition. I want to play for Michigan growing up. I want to play for Michigan State, whatever it is, but you got to make sure you're playing.
Yeah.
If you really believe you can be a pro and you want to go there, cool. If you just want to get that scholarship and, move on and be an architect or whatever, I don't know.
Right. That's what I was going to be, man.
Yeah?
I went to University of Detroit for architecture for one glorious year.
That's good.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I changed that school's rules about dorms. They literally changed everything the year after I left.
That's good.
Because we did some crazy shit to that dorm room. Shout out to Scheipel Hall. Anybody that's living in Scheipel right now. Yeah. If you're in room 504, there's crazy things went down in that room. I just want to let you know. But this was a long time ago, so I'm sure it's disinfected by now.
Well, let's wrap this up with Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh.
Is this the year Jim Harbaugh wins the Big Ten? And can he win the Big Ten?
Can he? Yes.
Will he?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
This is such a weird year, and that that's kind of like the incest year of Big Ten football because they're only playing each other.
Yeah.
They're not going to get into the college playoffs.
Nope.
So it's really strange that they're just playing Big Ten football, and
they need the money.
So here's the teams you got to watch out for. Wisconsin's always decent.
Yep.
Ohio State is probably the number one target.
For sure.
We don't know about Michigan State, but I don't think they're going to compete.
I don't think they're going to compete for the Big Ten, but you never know. They might surprise a few people.
Penn State is probably – those are your big three. Penn State, Wisconsin, Ohio State.
Yeah.
If they can knock a couple of those off during this run, I don't see a reason why Michigan can't win, especially if Milton turns out to be everything they want him to be.
Yeah. If Milton is the quarterback they need him to be, and the quarterback HARBAUGH is needed to get over the hump, you never know. Could be there. I just think expectation-wise, meh.
Meh. That's it.
Meh. I don't know. I want to say
I always have high expectations for Michigan.
Well, I think they can compete for the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Whether they win it or not, we'll see. But I think they have to be in the running for it at least.
Well, we'll find out on Saturday, which is awesome.
It's a big game. Road game.
It is a big game. And then the week after that,
Michigan State,
Michigan State.
Yep.
Halloween
at the
night.
Big House, right?
At the Big House.
Awesome.
But you wonder if Michigan's still going to be shut down the way it is.
I just don't understand what they're doing.
I think they're just trying to cover their ass. That's what they're doing. I just feel bad for all the students there that are in lockdown.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's psychologically draining.
18-year-olds with raging hormones away from home for the first time.
Stressing about classes. Being locked
stressing
up.
about COVID.
Stressing about life.
Can't leave they're locked in cages essentially. I
don't like it.
I'm glad I'm not in college right now.
Yeah.
And I dropped out even without COVID. I probably would have dropped out quicker with COVID. So if you go to University of Michigan, make it through this, or just go home and do all your virtual stuff. I don't know what to tell you. It's really weird. Obviously,
they need virtual support. They can call you.
Yeah. How does college go on after this? Not to get in a crazy COVID conversation, but how do they go on? Like, we know now you don't have to go to classes. We can just set up a computer and give your lecture to 4,000 people dialing in on Zoom.
I want to know how tuition changes.
Tuition has to change.
That's bullshit. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. That's too much money for school.
That's
especially because there's no guarantee.
Dude, UAD was insanely expensive. Any of those private colleges, absolutely insane.
Parents paying their kids' tuitions, like, come on.
Yeah.
You can't do that to people.
So I'm excited for Big Ten football to be back. I love watching Michigan play. I love watching Michigan State play. One of the big questions.
I think we love football.
Yeah, I love football. But one of the big questions you always get is, who do you root for, Michigan or Michigan State?
I root for football.
My response is, I went to University of Detroit. We don't even have a fucking football team. So I root for both.
I love seeing Michigan teams
I've partied more
flourish.
at State and had much better times partying at State. But my first crush really was my third grade teacher. Okay. Her name was Miss Sova.
She go to Michigan?
She was a Michigan cheerleader.
Oh.
And she taught us the fight song in third grade.
Third grade?
Yeah, she indoctrinated me.
Okay.
She really got me. And I had a crush on her, but then she got married, and I went to her wedding when I was in grade school, and I was all pissed off that she was getting married.
Why the hell did you go to her wedding?
She invited the whole class. What?
What?
Yeah. She invited the whole third grade class.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so me and my parents went. What the fuck? You think that's weird?
What?
Art, you think that's weird too?
Oh my god.
I think I was the only one who showed up too.
Yeah.
Shit. I'm thinking about this. Is this weird?
I think you just made it up that you.
No, I swear to God. I'll call my mom right now. My mom. You want me to call my mom?
No. I'm kidding.
But Miss Sova or Miss Heath, I forget which way it went. She was either Sova then Heath or Heath then Sova. But I remember that. Maple Elementary. Yeah, I went to her wedding. Nobody's ever called me out on that shit till just now. So, and I got Art over here laughing. So now I'm thinking I'm getting a complex about this.
I just
and
think
it happened 30 fucking years ago.
I think it's weird, man.
What's weird about it? I loved her.
All right. Okay. You see where it's getting weird?
Oh man, and it was one of those long Catholic weddings too, And when you're like 8, you don't have the patience to sit through that. And I was like getting hungry, and I almost went up for communion just to get a cracker because I was hungry. My mom's like, "No, you can't do that. That means something."
Yeah.
And later on, I obviously learned what all that meant. But Good Lord, man. You're going to have me thinking about this all day now.
Yeah, well, we should
but if
invite her
anybody
on.
knows Miss Sova or Miss Heath,
Have her reach out.
Yeah,
I'm
have
so
her
curious
reach
why
out.
she invited you.
maybe she got divorced and I can hit her up.
Yeah.
Like, hey, remember me from your 3rd grade class? Well, I've grown up, baby. Let's do this. I don't even know how old she would
She's
be.
probably in her 60s.
No, she was fresh out of college, bro.
All right, so she's like 55.
She was like 24 when she was teaching me.
Oh, bro, she's in her 60s then. She's
No
like
way. What was it?
mid 50s.
Yeah.
Mid
Yeah, no,
50s.
she's in her 60s. Shit, man.
Yeah. Don't get
Either
your-
way, I bet you she's still hot. I thought she was hot when I was in 3rd grade.
I'd love for her to reach out.
Yes. So if anybody knows her or how to get a hold of her, tell her I said what's up. I've been thinking about her my whole life, wondering how she's doing. You know, did she have a kid that looked like me?
Did she name a kid after you?
Did she name? Oh my God, how funny would that be? Like, oh yeah, you know, we got divorced a couple years ago, but this is my son Sam. Like, what? What?
I didn't know you were thinking about me.
I've been thinking about you too. Okay.
Right.
Well, that got weird. So yeah,
good.
Miss Sova, what's up? Thank you everybody for watching. We did a full hour today covering all the sports, the World Series, Dodgers 8-3, another game tonight. That's going to be exciting. We covered Tua as the starter in Miami. We went over your waiver wire pickups. So if you're looking for waiver wire pickups, go back through and listen to that, or go to woodwardsports.com. That article's up now. The Michigan-Minnesota preview. We got an article about Joe Milton that's up right now. So really, if you want to follow up and get more detailed on anything we talked about in the show, we got articles about it on woodwardsports.com, plus links to all of our social media. If you want to see that picture of Matthew Stafford and Clayton Kershaw, it's up. If you want to see Tua sitting on the field talking to his parents, that picture is up. That's the cool part about doing digital shit, is we can support it through digital shit. So if you want to see what we're talking about, just go to any of our social platforms. It's at Woodward Sports, Facebook.com/Woodward Sports, Instagram at Woodward Sports. It's Woodward Sports. We're everywhere, and we're hoping that you come along for the ride and help us grow this network to be the biggest sports network in Detroit. We're the first and only digital sports network in Detroit, so that's already cool.
Yeah.
But we want to take over the fucking game.
That's right.
We need your help. So share us, like us, tell your friends about us. If you like something we said, share it at the water cooler while you're hanging out talking to somebody. Get on a Zoom call with your work and then flash our logo. Just do fun shit, because that's what we're doing. We're Detroit people that love Detroit sports, and that's why we started this. Right, Adam?
That's right.
Adam is awesome.
I love you.
I love you too, man. Thank you. Have a great, it's Wednesday already. Holy shit. Have a
know,
great
week gone
Wednesday.
by.
Enjoy your week.
Thanks
Woodward
everybody
Sports.
for joining.
Thank you. Yeah, Adam, why don't you do a sign out today? Go ahead.
I'll do one tomorrow.
Okay,
You
great
were
job.
I cut you off midway, so I
Yeah,
wanna,
thanks a lot.
Sorry.
Have a great day. Enjoy yourself, Detroit.